Hello, hello to everyone out there, and it's Brother Tim again. And I always try to show people how to use the Bible in their life and how the Bible is so useful and so beneficial for us to use. We I've been talking about the currency of love that we should be using in our lives every day. Um, I use that in other words to show how the currency, the man-made currency, the imperfect currency is causing massive problems today. So we have to analyze this. We have to understand why is these currencies causing us so much problems. Okay, um, currencies are dollars, pesos, euros, pounds, yuan. Those are currencies, man-made currencies. And why are we having so much problems? And why these currencies are not loving. Okay, now let's go to the Bible and understand how God wants us to be towards one another. Okay. At 1 Corinthians chapter 16 verse 4, let all that you do be done in love. So everything we should do, we should be doing it in love. And 1 Peter verse 4 verse 8 says, above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. All right, we have a true obligation here to show one another love in everything we do. And this currency of love is so important, and it's sad because people turn away from this currency of love. All right, we have turned away from it in a big way. All right, now we need to get that currency of love back, and that's really the only way that we're going to we can fix these problems, because see, God is love, and He wants us to show love towards one another, and He wants us to do things for one another out of love. Now let's talk about this man-made currency real fast. All right, I'm going to a blog that I always go to. It's called the economicscollapseblog.com. The writer of this blog name is Michael Snyder. He's a good brother who writes articles about the economy, how it's affecting us today, and how it's going to affect us in the future. Now, the latest the latest article here, one of his latest articles is called "Inflation is Too Low." Are you kidding us, Ben Bernanke? All right, I'm gonna read a little bit of that, and I'm gonna show you how this inflation it really comes from several things, but one of the big parts is our currency when it's printed too much. Okay. The Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke said that this week that inflation in the United States need to be higher. Yes, he actually came out right out and said that. It almost seemed as if Bernanke is trying to purposely hurt the middle class. Now, he said inflation is too low. Okay, let's talk about this low inflation. All right, and he gives an example here. He says, for example, when Barack Obama first entered the White House, the average price of a gallon of gasoline was $1.84. Today, the average price of a gallon of gasoline is nearly double. It is currently sitting around $3.49. But when I filled up my vehicle yesterday, it was nearly $4. So it almost doubled since Barack Obama been in the White House. Okay, inflation is rising. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about this inflation. All right, and see how this currency is hurting us badly. Okay. It goes on to say, I certainly cannot find. He said, so where is this low inflation that everyone has been talking about? He said, it certainly cannot be found in college tuitions. Since 1987, the cost of college tuition in the United States has risen by 498%. So it's not in college tuition. Now, what about in the supermarkets? He shows here from 2002 to 2012 article by Benny Johnson. It shows the increase in our food. Eggs 73%, coffee 90%, butter 40%, milk 23%, a loaf of bread 39%, spaghetti and macaroni 44%, orange juice 46%, um, electricity 42%, wine 60%, and it goes on and on and on. Ground beef 61%. Now, the question you need to ask yourself: has your salaries gone up this much? Has your salaries gone up 61% or 41% or 100%? You know, he says here. Meanwhile, the paychecks are not rising at the same pace that inflation is. In fact, median household income in the United States has fallen 4 years in a row. Overall, it has declined by over $4,000 during the time span. We are being crushed by inflation, by the currency that we are using. America is printing $85 billion a month of its currency. Okay, this is not good for the common man. All right, because pretty soon you think $3 or $4 for a gallon of gasoline. Oh, one day we're gonna see $7 and $10 for a gallon of gasoline. For a gallon of milk, we're gonna see $10 for a gallon of milk. It's amazing how fast you spend $10 going to the store today. You can go. This is how fast you can spend $10. You can go get you a gallon of milk, a loaf of bread, and if you need to get a gallon of gasoline, you done spent that $10 that fast. But anyway, I want to go into a little bit of another article. This is taken out of King World News, and Gerald Celente is being interviewed. Okay. He's talking about an event that happened that's not being talked about in newspapers. He said it all comes back to gold, Eric. Go back to the House Financial Service Committee hearing in the past Wednesday. Here is what Bernanke said on the effects of tightening the so-called monetary easing. He says, I don't think the Fed can get interest rates up very much because the economy is weak. Inflation rates are low. If we were to tighten policies, meaning the monetary policies, the economy would tank. That should have been on the headline story on Thursday newspaper around the world. He says, you pick up the Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, they never mention the phrase. If we were to tighten the policy, the economy would tank. And that's where it's going. All right. What do you mean by tightening the policy? If they were to cut all this printing of money, the stimulus they call it. It's not a stimulus. We depend on it. Why is it a stimulus anymore? I don't know why I call it a stimulus. It's a part of the economy. You know, we instead of creating jobs, we print money. You know, and this is a big problem. I mean, we should be. There's so much that we should be doing to help our economic situation. You know, I feel sorry that we are all our jobs is over in China and these other countries. That stuff should be right here in America. We should be making our own sneakers, our own computers, our own refrigerators, our own cars. We should be making it in America. I don't understand. I mean, it's sad to see how things is playing out. Oh, in China, you got 1.3 billion people. They should be making stuff for their own people. Every country should be producing things for its own people. This is crazy. So now, because we're not producing stuff, we're printing money. And printing money is going to cause massive inflation. It's already eating up our money. We go in the store, we see the price of gas, we see the price of milk, eggs. It's going to continue on. This is not love. Okay? This is destruction of people's way of life. This is what it is. This is not what God wants us to do. He wants us to do things for each other out of love. Yeah. My next videos, I'll go into saying what I believe is a better way currency should be done. And one is out of love for one another. Every human being on the planet. Excuse me. So anyway, thank you. And I hope that you enjoy this video and I hope it's be helpful. And I'll leave links to these websites here and also informative videos under my video so that people who want to learn about the economy and all about God, you can do that. All right. God bless and have a good day.